Attention passionate Seattle SCHNEIDER fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show THAT you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most significant rumors of the offseason, and it's all centered around one of the most talented young cornerbacks in the league right now. The buzz swirling around the NFL circles suggests a potential blockbuster trade that might reshape the NFC West and shake up the Seahawks secondary. The player in the spotlight, Sauce Gardner, the Jets' all-pro cornerback who's only 25 years old but already making a huge impact on the field. Sources close to the Jets have leaked some pretty interesting info, talking about a total rebuild in New York, a team that's currently sitting at 3-5 and appears to be gearing up for a serious overhaul. The Jets are reportedly willing to part ways with Gardner, trading him to the Seahawks in exchange for a second-round pick in 2026 and a third-round pick in 2027. This move would free up around $7 million in cap space for New York, which could be crucial as they look to rebuild their roster, especially on the offensive line, much like what the Packers did last year with their draft picks. Now let's talk about Gardner himself, because this isn't just some run-of-the-mill CB. At 25, he's already established himself as one of the best shutdown corners in the league, with a resume that screams top-tier talent. He's been named an All-Pro, and his stats this season are pretty eye-opening. Gardner has recorded 45 solo tackles, 12 pass defenses, and has an impressive PFF coverage grade of 89.1, ranking him among the top 2 cornerbacks in the league. That's elite stuff. His career overall grade sits at a solid 85.2, showing consistency and high-level play over his time in the league. What makes Gardner even more enticing is his ability to make explosive plays. He's targeted about 50 times this season, but with only 7 explosive plays, giving him a very low one. 4% explosive play rate. He's not just good at shutting receivers down, but also at making game-changing plays, with 3 interceptions to his name so far. Tackling isn't his strongest suit. His tackling grade is around 78.4, but that's not uncommon for a corner who mainly focuses on coverage. And yes, he's dealing with a shoulder injury, but if he's healthy, he's a game-changer. Think about him alongside Tariq Woolen, who's been fantastic for the Seahawks, although there's been rumors about Woolen possibly leaving or being traded, so adding Gardner could be a strategic move to bolster the secondary. Speaking of the Seahawks, fans know how much the team's secondary has been an area of concern, especially with some gaps and depth issues. The team has been projected to improve its interceptions, with an expected +9 picks this season, which could help turn the tide in close games. The defensive stats are promising too, projected to reduce aerial yards by around 17%, down to about 205 yards per game, which would be a huge boost for the defense. Plus, turnovers are expected to increase by 20%, giving Seattle more chances to flip the field and generate scoring opportunities. That kind of boost could be exactly what the Seahawks need to take that next step and become a dominant force in the NFC. Let's not forget, the Seahawks are already looking at a team that's on the rise, especially on defense. With the addition of a player like Gardner, who's proven he can lock down top receivers and create turnovers, the team's odds to contend seriously increase. Currently, the Seahawks are sitting at +800 in the betting odds for the Super Bowl, but with a move like this, those odds could tighten significantly, possibly dropping to +460 or even better. The Seahawks' defense, with its improved secondary, could become the X-factor that pushes them over the edge in the playoffs, especially considering how they've been trending this season. Now, looking at the broader picture, the Jets' skepticism about cap space for Aaron Rodgers and their need to rebuild their offensive line with draft picks like Packers in 2023 shows that they might be more willing to part with key players. Gardner, being young and highly talented, could be a prime trade target that fits their rebuild plans. For the Seahawks, acquiring Gardner isn't just about boosting the secondary, it's about making a statement. It's about saying, we're here to win now, especially with the team showing resilience and growth under Pete Carroll's leadership. Of course, there are questions. Will the Jets really part ways with Gardner? Are the Seahawks willing to give up the draft capital needed? And how would Gardner fit into the defensive scheme, which already features Tariq Woolen and other talented players? Those are questions only time will answer, but the potential is there. Think about how adding a player like Gardner could elevate the Seahawks secondary to a top 5 unit in the league, drastically reducing yards allowed and increasing takeaways. That kind of boost could be the difference in tight playoff games, turning the Seahawks' defense into a true lockdown unit. And let's take a moment to consider the big picture, Seattle's playoff odds. The team is already considered a playoff contender, but with a few strategic moves, they could become serious favorites. The defense, especially the secondary, has been solid but needs that extra spark. Adding Gardner could give them that spark, turning close losses into wins and elevating the team's confidence for the postseason. The NFC West, already competitive with teams like the 49ers, Rams, and Cardinals, could see Seattle emerge even stronger, especially if they bolster their secondary with a player of Gardner's caliber. As we look ahead to the next few weeks, the trade deadline, which is coming up on November 4th, becomes even more critical. Rumors are swirling, and the Seahawks could be in prime position to make a splash. Given their needs and the opportunity to add a top-tier corner, it's no stretch to imagine a trade happening that would electrify the fan base and shift the landscape of the NFC West. The Seahawks have been building a team that's competitive and resilient, and adding a star like Gardner could push them into that elite tier. Now, fans, I can't stress enough how exciting this potential move is. It's a classic Pete Carroll move, aggressive, strategic, and focused on building a team that can go all the way. The Seahawks front office has shown a willingness to make bold moves before, and with the team's current trajectory, it wouldn't be surprising if they're already working behind the scenes to make this happen. Imagine the energy in Lumen Field when the Seahawks trot out a secondary featuring Tariq Woolen, with Sauce Gardner locking down one side. That's a nightmare matchup for any opposing quarterback, and it would send a clear message to the league that Seattle is serious about contending. Of course, the fans are already dreaming about the possibilities. A secondary featuring Gardner, Woolen, and the rest of the Seahawks' talented defenders could become one of the league's top units in no time. With such a defense, the Seahawks could become one of the toughest teams to score against, especially in the playoffs. This move could also inspire the offense to elevate their game, knowing they have a shutdown defense behind them. It's that kind of confidence that often makes a team a Super Bowl contender. In the end, all signs point to an exciting, drama-filled few weeks ahead. Whether or not this trade materializes, the buzz alone is enough to keep fans on the edge of their seats. The Seahawks have been steadily improving, and with strategic additions, they can make a real push for the championship. As we approach the trade deadline, keep your eyes peeled because the NFL is unpredictable, and the Seahawks are always ready to make their move when the moment is right. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Are you excited about the prospect of bringing Sauce Gardner to Seattle? Do you think it's the move that could take the team over the top and into Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion truly matters to us and to the Seahawks organization. Remember, this is a team built on the passion and energy of its fans, and your voice is a vital part of that. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates and insights, so stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news. The NFL landscape is buzzing, and with each passing day, the possibilities grow. The Seahawks are on the rise, and whether this trade happens or not, one thing is for sure: the best is yet to come. So keep that Seahawks spirit alive, and let's get ready for an exciting run in the second half of the season. Thanks for riding along with me, and as always, go Hawks.